Allow me to indulge you in one of the greatest quotes ever written from this amazing book by one of the greatest people on the planet. Men seek retreats for themselves. In the country, by the sea, in the hills, and by yourself are particularly prone to this yearning. But all this is quiet and philosophic when it is open to you. At any time you want to retreat into yourself, at any time you want to retreat into yourself. No retreat offers someone more quiet and relaxation than that into his own mind, especially if he can leap into thoughts there which put him at immediate and complete ease. And by ease I simply mean a well-ordered life. So constantly give yourself this retreat and renew yourself. The doctrines you will visit there should be few and fundamental, sufficient at one meeting to wash away all your pain and send you back free of resentment and what you must rejoin. So more often we find ourselves within ourselves. I think one of the greatest times spent on this planet is the time we spend with ourselves. It's going to be the most time we spend on this planet. So this is a quote by Marcus Aurelius from Meditation, and I want you to indulge me with mine. I post mine on this Telegram channel I started 2 years ago. By order of one darking iconic character, this is just myself talking to myself about myself. This is a quote from Thomas Shelby in Peaky Blinders, when he was really wallowing in a he was in a very down place. So the character itself, so wondering if things okay, very anxious, almost flattering depression. You should want these things to happen. Force and exquisite desire not only for experience but also indulgence. Your energy attracts like energy from the universe, so purpose to project a vibration whose harmonics twine with your outside. So you should want these things to have them. This was me thinking that, why is it I'm so demotivated to actually go out and get money and get this polished life, but I have no desire for material things, and I have nothing against people that are actually actively participating in the game of global legacy and dominance, but it's something that within me I don't feel like I need it, I want it. That's why I was saying you should want these things to have them. Force and expressing desire not only for experience but also indulgence. I think the only way to have something is to actually desire it, and sometimes even if the desire doesn't exist and it's a thing that you should have, you should actually force the feeling to actually feel like the world owes you that thing. That's the only way you're going to attract it into your life. Your energy attracts like energy from the universe, so purpose to project a vibration whose harmonic is twined with your outside. As within, so without, so as above, so below, as the universe, so the soul. This is a matic philosophy. Whatever you're going through is indifferent, and that's why it's not supposed to matter as it should. Everything you are to experience has been experienced, heightened in intensity in the past or elsewhere. It is clear in the Bible, nothing is new under the sun. That's from Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9. So create a habit, orchestrate it into a social activity, and let the world ease your burden. Culture makes people understand each other better, and if they understand each other better in their soul, it is easier to overcome the economic and political barriers. But first you have to understand that your neighbor is, in the end, just like you, with the same problems, the same questions. Once you live by yourself, now go live by them. Maybe then you'll understand how to get by yourself. Again, this is more of a community oriented thought. Most of the times we seclude ourselves from people and from everything, and things are not going okay. But what we forget is whatever we are experiencing has been experienced, or is something a person already is going through. So when you choose to go within yourself, to retire within yourself and wallow in the pain, what we forget is we can actually heal better when we are among a community or other people. That's why they tell you to go share your pain with other people. And when you share your pain, you ease a burden within yourself, and you'll be so surprised that whichever people are trying to share the pain with, they're also going through the same thing. Again, that's why I'm repeating to say, as below, as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. It says, as the universe, so the soul. So whatever you're going through is something the entire world has gone through or is going through. So when you let it out, there's a high likelihood chance that you'll get a person that relates with you and can actually offer more solace in whatever you're going through, as opposed to retiring yourself in loneliness. To have all to have They have all the access and resources we don't. If you really care about your people, you'll show them it's possible. I believe you can only inspire through action, and that's the only way people are going to relate into whatever doctrine you're trying to preach to them. Invest in growth by shifting your perspective. Today, let me dive into the concept of paying the price for growth versus investing in your future. When it comes to paying the price, there are two comfort zones you often find yourselves in. First, there's the psychological comfort zone. The idea of paying is often associated with limitation and loss, making it less appealing. It feels like something is being taken away rather than given. This goes to all men. Most of the times we feel the need to rebel when we are told to do things, and it's a psychological thing we have to fight within ourselves. Nobody likes taking orders, so it feels like something's being taken away rather than given. Then there's the physical comfort zone. Waking up early, approaching a stunning lady, it sounds tough and your emotions tell you it's uncomfortable. The discomfort is tied to your perception of a comfort-centric life versus a growth-centric one. The problem with comfort-centric the problem with the comfort zone is that it's only comfortable for a short time before it gets uncomfortable. It goes on to say, when you are afraid to go out for your purpose, then it will only be comfortable at the moment you're afraid. But when bills come, they want to be paid. When you are lonely and you are seeking company, it's when things get to be tough. That's why it's more, you should force yourself to go out there even if you don't feel like going. You should force yourself to do things that are uncomfortable, because at the present environment, however comfortable it is, it's not going to be there for you in the near future. So let's shift your perspective. Instead of talking about paying the price, let's talk about investing time and energy for the life you want. Will you invest the time to have the life you desire? Remember, it's not about the pain of the process, but the joy on the other side. It's about investing in yourself. So are you willing to invest? It's a question I was asking myself that evening. Take a deep reflection on the inner dialogue that shapes your days. The words you whisper to yourself don't just echo in the halls of your mind, they construct the reality you inhabit. Be vigilant about your mental rhetoric, for your external world is often a reflection of your innermost thoughts. So there's this guy called Wes Waston. I guess I have another quote about him down there. He says that depression is just internal notifications telling you that you are slacking. You are feeling shitty because you are not making progress, and it's a reflection from this thought that whatever you're feeling inside has to do more who you are in the inside with the present environment you are in. So if you're feeling happy inside, then you'll be more contented than the environment you're in. If you're feeling depressed inside, you'll be more depressed with the environment that you are in. So before we go on, let me pause this thing. So I was saying, on 20th I wrote a resignation letter. So this was just me affirming that whatever I wanted to pursue had to feel original in me, and the environment I was in had to feel foreign, so that I could actually be comfortable with the mind I was trying to implement that would steer me forward to write the resignation letter and leave and go do my thing. So that's when I left. That's when I left my job and started doing my own thing. After at the highest echelon, this one is now is from is from Andrew. This one I actually saw. Andrew posted this and it felt very very convincing. Actually connected and resonated with it. At the highest echelons of masculine performance, the constant conquest requires near unlimited energy. You are better than everybody else, objectively and figuratively, and you exhaust your peace of mind to forever achieve. You do not know peace, you do not know happiness, but you know respect as you are adored by anybody who relies on you. You rarely smile, but your woman smiles, your children smile. You never fail, and this is enough. The mirror must be one of the most unorthodox products ever made. One minute is validating your ego and pride, the next it's triggering all insecurities of the people you are failing by underperforming. The living, the dead, and the unborn, all looking you deep in your own eyes for your failures. If you go to the gym and you work out, every time when you are on the mirror, looking at how your muscles are building up, looking at how your abs and the obliques are forming. But there are moments when you are on the low vibration and things are not moving. So you're there wondering how you're feeling shitty and worthless because you're letting yourself and the people around you down. So it was just been reflecting about life. Everybody around you is trying to live life. Everyone is trying to find a higher purpose for their life. That's why we are chasing goals, stacking wins, and improving on what we lose. We are all on a hero's journey. As you walk through life, understand that the purpose of it is growth and the essence of it is servitude. Tap into your stack of high frequency, create a person whose worth by focusing on personal growth. Commit yourself to the hard work in building the best individual you've ever known, and constantly give that individual to the world. Great leaders are inspired from this quote. We know that, however, as a father, as a boyfriend, as a husband, and as a big brother, one thing that will stay constant and true to you is how you make the people that look up to you proud. And how do you do that? By being the best version of yourself. You inspire them by sacrificing and going out for them. You inspire them. Then that's servitude, and that's how you bring light to the world. You ask, how can I change the world? Well, start with the man in the mirror. Again, that's something that's very relatable. Create the individual you admire and give that man to the world. I can not afford to be nice to everyone. This is a bit cynical, and it's not a matter of everyone deserving it or not. It's just something to do with preference and how people carry themselves around me. The more understanding, empathetic, and tolerating I am, the more people push their boundaries and try to fuck with me. I need to be strict and uncompromising about my value. This doesn't mean I have to be an asshole. It just means I should be able to be one when the situation calls. You have to change who you are to afford what you want. The speed and breadth. Time is running so fast. Hey. You have to change who you are to afford what you want. The speed and breadth of your progress is often limited to two things: your personal identities and your immediate environment. So your personal identities is actually, the entire meditation is something to do with finding a very, very, very core place within yourself with very, very, very consistent ideals. That's what's going to change and actually default you into an original system that's going to guide and define your path. And your immediate environment. Your environment can force you to shrivel up to protect yourself from negativity. When you are surrounded by people who are intimidated by your light, you will subconsciously learn to suppress your gift, insights, and passions to the level they can tolerate. On the other hand, you do this to yourself through the identities you adopt. Your identities dictate your actions and reactions. You avoid taking risks that could change your life to protect your precious identities. This is the mental prison of the false ego. The subtle trick of this ego is the ability to rationalize anything it wants you to believe. So don't be surprised that you have the perfectly sound excuse to cover up your procrastinations, lack of courage, and other self-defeating behaviors. People avoid self-awareness because they cannot come to terms with the lies they tell themselves. The first step towards transformative change is deep introspection. You can never heal what you never reveal. The next step is detachment from every self-limiting belief and identity that has infested your subconscious mind. This is harder than it sounds. Some mental parasites have stayed too long in your headspace that you no longer recognize them as intruders and must be eradicated immediately. Your desire for growth must be stronger than your attachment to your false ego. The final step is adoption, embodying a strong and transcendental identity that is aligned with your vision. Your thoughts can make you weak or strong, lazy or disciplined, fearful or confident. Life is a battle and the battlefield is in your mind. You are the mountain. Get out of your own way. Again, if you're used to banging your head and you have some self-limiting habits, the only way to step up is to actually, one, identify the self-limiting behaviors, two, find a way to either overshadow them or actually drop them. And after is now when you transcend to being a holistic human. If you change, everything could change for you. This is a quote from Jim Rohn that tells you that one thing he found about personal development is that you cannot change your environment. You can actually tell your boss to increase your salary, but you can do one thing. You can change the way you view life. You can change everything within yourself. And only when you change, when you choose personal development, is when the environment around you and everything around you is going to be bigger and larger than the current phase you are in. You probably know this, but you are too distracted to optimize this. If you want to maximize your results when it comes to business, networking, productivity, and life in general, you have to learn how to keep your vibration high every day. You won't make any sales while you are depressed. You won't be able to talk and network if you are lethargic and bored. You have to feel right to attract positivity within yourself. Here are my go-to habits that have worked for me. I don't know how I always forget this, but the only way to feel good about yourself is if you are under the right environment and you are doing the right actions that actually steer you to be in the same right environment that feels safe, secure, and vibrant in your perception or imagination. Learn every day. Read or listen to something with a high ROI, a self-help book, quality podcast. If you're into music, you will listen to music. Train once or twice a day. Ideally, a short marathon, some weight lifting, some cardio, push-ups every day. These things work magic. Fasting, you're more creative if you don't eat all day long like some loser who is always with some food in his mouth, tired because the body is disgusted. The body is digesting the food. Talk to some beautiful woman. If you have a girlfriend or if you flirt with women online, if you put a joke with it, it feels amazing by the way. Eat lots of protein and clean food. Get a fresh haircut every time you're fresh and clean. You feel a little bit better. I'm clean, very clean. My teeth are white, my hair is black. I don't feel shit, I just feel okay. Have a cold shower, they do wonders. Every small positive element in your life builds up your vibration. Every small positive element in your life builds up your vibration. Actually, it's just a follow-up from this, from the above thought. The more elements you stack at the same time, the more you feel like God amongst men. In that state, having that mood, money, a woman, opportunities come easier, come effortlessly to you. Like imagine you come out of a nice car. Again, it's just me trying to tell you, to convince myself that there's a higher echelon of life, that if you experience that space, then everything around you will make you feel better. But if you're on the other side, if you experience this level, this low level, in a depressed, in a low vibrations, in a low vibration state, then everything about that place and the environment will feel shitty about itself too. Be larger than your current place, have a clear concept of what you want to be, and let the vision guide you and shape your behavior, and watch how you outgrow every space. And then finally, we have this last screenshot. I don't know where I took the screenshot from, but it says there is only one way, and that is the way. There's only one salvation, and that is your salvation. There's only one salvation, and that is your salvation. Why are you looking around for help? Do you believe that help will come from outside? What is to come is created in you and from you. Hence, look into yourself. Do not compare, do not measure. No way, no other way is like yours. All other ways deceive and tempt you. You must fulfill the way that is in you. Oh, that all men and all their ways become strange to you. Thus might you find them again within yourself and recognize their ways. But what weaknesses, what doubt, what fear, you will not bear going your way. You always want to have at least one foot on paths not your own, to avoid the great solitude. So the maternal comfort is always with you, so that someone acknowledges you, recognizes you, bestows trust in you, comforts you, encourages you, so that someone puts you over into their path where you stray from yourself, and there is it there, and where it is easy for you to set yourself aside, as if you are not yourself. Who should accomplish your deeds? Who should carry your virtues and your vices? You do not come to an end with your life, and the dead will besiege you terribly to live your unlived life. Everything must be fulfilled. Time is of the essence. So why do you want to pile up the lived and let the unlived rot? Very rhetoric questions, trying to remind you that, trying to ask you and remind you that the only uniqueness you have is yourself, and every time you stay true to what you believe in, what is original to you, it's going to define and bring happiness and fulfill your purpose. But every time you stray into someone else's path, every time you try to copy other people, every time you try to implement things that are done outside of your identity, is when you stray outside your path. Anyway, if you're still here, it's been an amazing time, and I didn't have a video to post. It's been 2 weeks since I posted the last video, and I wanted to remind myself why I'm doing this and why I chose to do this. And that's why I'm doing this video, actually trying to go through the meditation, the daily journals we've been doing, and trying to refresh our operating system into what we believe in and what we think is right and for us. So thank you for this amazing time. If you're still here and you want to join the group, you just go to Telegram and look for ASNF, Asan Never Forgets, and you will join the group. It's public. It's where I share most of my thoughts. Otherwise, enjoy your week. It's on a Monday. Enjoy your week and go be the best individual you can ever be. Adios.